Ohio. We've been here today for the State of the Schools address by Dr. Eugene Sanders, and we're having a little question and answer program here after that program with school officials. And I want to mention before we get into that, Between the Lines is brought to you by former State Representative Chris Redfern, former Ottawa County Commissioner Chris Redfern. As a public service, we want to thank Chris Redfern for sponsoring Between the Lines. And with that, I want to introduce our panel. To my far right is Dr. Ted Caleris, Mrs. Kate Vargo right here, school board member, and to my left is a new addition to the Sandusky schools, Mrs. Rosalyn Shephard, who will be the Performing Arts Director.
I'm Chair of Planning.
Okay, and we're going to get into that in just a few moments. And at my far left is Mr. Todd Downing, who is the Elementary School Athletic Director. And that's the program, and today's State of the School address was all about the transformation and the continuing transformation of Sandusky schools. I wanted to start with you, the principal of the Sandusky High School. Based on my understanding of the transformation plan, the high school seems to be the central hub. Can you bring us up to speed on your key work with Blue Streak University?
Well, Blue Streak University is an offshoot of the College Credit Plus program, where we give high school students the opportunity to earn college credit while they're taking high school courses. So our goal with Blue Streak U is to get as many of our students in classes at Sandusky High School taking college credit courses so they don't have to go off campus, because traditionally students would go off campus, Firelands, Lorraine County Community College, things like that, to take these courses. We want students at Sandusky High School to stay in the building so they can have opportunities to do activities and things like that.
And Blue Streak University was announced as part of the transformation plan last year.
Correct.
And it certainly was one of the things that got the most attention.
Right.
And it's college credit for high school students at no cost.
At no
to
cost,
the students.
correct.
So students can come out of high school, some of them might be able to earn an associate's degree.
That's correct. You can, many credits if possible.
Through state college.
Correct.
So that's an exciting news, and it continues to be very, drawing a lot of attention from the community and families.
Correct. Yeah, we really want our students, our families to know that, you know, a lot of the opportunities in the past have been students can still take the college credits, but they have to go off-site. We want our students to stay in the high school so that they can access the extracurriculars, our traditional programs like band, choir, orchestra, so they don't have to choose between both of those programs.
Okay, and that was part of the program last year was announced, and it continues to be very popular, but the announcement today was about the Great Lakes Visual and Performing Arts Academy at Sandusky High School, and you're going to be directing that or leading that program.
I'm going to be leading the planning for that program. We've been working on this since actually last November, trying to put together curriculum and getting the ideas and having it student-centered. So we put out some surveys to the students.
So this is a performing arts academy that's open to students from across the region.
Oh, yeah.
And open to all families in Sandusky if their students have an interest. And all of this is part of the what do I want to be when I grow up theme, which was what Dr. Sanders focused on today very nicely, I thought. And Jason, we should get that video if we can. There was a video today with children from senior high school down to kindergarten, preschool. Yeah. And the preschooler wanted to be a Blue Streak. So, and you have a program with the Arts Academy occurring this summer.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Open to all students going into 9th grade through 12th grade. So everybody out there, keep your ear open for this. We're going to be working in collaboration with the State Theater. The State Theater normally has workshops that they do with the students, but this is going to be student-driven for Sandusky High School. That means that every kid that comes is going to help put the program on, from scene design to sound, lighting, box office management. Our kids are going to be doing that. Instead of just the acting of it, they're going to be actually putting on the production.
All the parts.
All the parts, yes.
And it is kind of like, well, you're all much younger, so you probably don't remember the show Fame.
Oh, yeah.
But it is kind of like Fame, isn't it?
Yes. We're trying to get.
Does anybody remember Fame? Mr. Crable in the back. Dr. Sanders. Yes, we have some.
Maybe on History Channel.
It's an arts academy, which is just another part of the expanded services that the school district is developing through the transformation plan.
Yes.
And again, it goes back to the what do you want to be when you grow up. So that's this summer, and then the Arts Academy opens in the fall.
Yes, we will have it open for students, mostly students going into 9th and 10th grade, because our 11th graders and our 12th graders are really already on their track to getting ready to graduate and know which direction they want to go in. But we're opening this up a lot to our 8th graders going into the 9th graders and our 10th graders, wanting them to choose, maybe they want to do something in arts that they haven't had a chance to do before. They get a chance to explore and get some ideas, see if they like theater, if they like dance. We have a wonderful orchestra, band, art program already in the elementary schools, so we're going to expand that by adding dance and theater.
Okay. All right, and that starts this fall, and it's going to be at the high school.
At the high school.
Very good. Well, there's a lot of things happening at the high school. Can you talk about the global initiative?
Part of what we want to do is, when students leave our doors, they're going to go to college and they're trying to compete with other students from other areas, other schools. We want to give our students the opportunity to potentially get into or observe or participate in some type of field experience global internship, so they have that knowledge, the practical knowledge of what it's like to be in that field before they leave our doors. And we're hoping that sets them apart between other students in other schools that may not necessarily have had those internship experiences.
And that's, and again, it's part of the transformation. So these are all things that, it's rather uncommon what you're doing.
Right, and we're trying to give students options because, for example, maybe I want to be this profession, but I don't necessarily know what that profession really entails. We're trying to expose them to the practical applications of that career so that they're sure that they want to go into this, because college is expensive and we don't want them wasting 1.5, 2 years of tuition when they don't know what it's about. So we're just trying to give them that practical experience.
And then there's the Digital Academy as part of the transformation.
Digital Academy is an online school that we have, and it's an alternative setting for students that want to experience their schooling through that online format. It gives them opportunities to work and volunteer if they need to during the day. So it's just that alternative experience for students. We're hoping next year with Blue Streak U, we're going to run a couple of online courses taught by college professors in that online format. Students are, they love their phones, they love to text, that's their world. So we're hoping to engage them in that way.
So again, this is just the school district becoming digital and becoming part of the change that everybody's going.
I mean, we're trying to adapt and evolve. Right. We're just trying to adapt and evolve.
Exactly. And the Board of Education's been open to creating all these new programs, and you're on the board, Mrs. Vargo. Can you talk a bit about the board's philosophy about change and how this is different, perhaps, than, because this is different.
Well, I think it started back when open enrollment probably hit way back.
That's right.
And we saw a loss of students. I mean, to be blatantly honest, we lost a lot of kids. And how do you get competitive today? We needed to become, which we want to as a board, be the school of choice for maybe not just right here, but even the region. This would be great for the school of choice, hence the regional center for advanced academic studies, and also now this Fine Arts Academy. So that potentially could draw kids from everywhere, and we can become a school of choice. And if you notice the theme of everything that's happening, there's an opportunity for every kind of student at Sandusky City Schools. So the board's philosophy is to be the school of choice, and we needed to become that, and we charged the administrative team and Dr. Sanders with that, and they've done a fantastic job.
And so, you're also a parent of children who've gone through the school system. And so, with your experiences with your own children, in the district. What is the board looking forward to seeing as it relates to global internships that we just talked about?
Well, I think obviously there are going to be kids that do that as well, but I liked Dr. Caleris when he was talking about kids going to college and having those internships as well. Not every student is going to go to college, and we have to have those career opportunity outreaches, if you will, to go and do. I know Mrs. Kareen is working on some internships with kids who are just career opportunities to get them ready for regular work experience in the world.
And the Register is participating in that program, and
Thank
we're
you
really
very
excited
much.
to be part of it.
But that's really important because, you know, in this day and age, we have really lost, you know, the trades. I mean, kids, you can make a lot of money in the trades today, and kids need to get back involved in that. You don't necessarily have to have a 4-year degree to be somebody, or be no offense, all my colleagues, be a doctorate, you know, a PhD to be someone in this world today. We have wonderful trades out there. That's what this world was built on. So we want to offer that as well as kids who are going to go on to advanced studies and become PhDs, and kids who are going to travel the world and get those kinds of degrees. But we want our kids to be competitive no matter what, be at the top of what they're going to be doing.
And then in the school district, this transformation plan is also making sure they know they have choices, that be what you want to be was one of the themes in the State of the Schools address.
Absolutely, and we're trying to start that as early as we can at the lower levels, so they're understanding, and we're starting in the 7th grade. You know, I'd like to see it even start earlier, and we will, I'm sure, but the 7th grade looking at career opportunities. So they get their feet wet, and by the time they get into high school to choose one of those tracks, and we have 12 majors to choose from, and going forward, correct, 12. So going forward and choosing one of those career tracks that they choose, they've already got their feet wet, and they've done a little research in 7th and 8th grade, so they don't go in 9th grade all of a sudden and the counselor looks at them and says, you have to pick something. So they have some experience there.
Very good, very good. And then, you know, as a member of the board, it was very difficult last year for the board and for the community with the loss of the construction funding levy by 17 votes. And has the board had an opportunity to regroup? I know initially we're just going to let this settle for a while, but has the board had an opportunity to regroup and consider what the next move is?
We're having ongoing talks about it, and you know, we have a couple different options, and we're going to continue to talk. We're going to meet with our committees still that worked endlessly, tirelessly to get that passed. So I think you'll probably be hearing from us at the end of the school year of what our decision is and which direction we're going with that.
And does the board feel that it had a lot of support from the community, and given that it was a low turnout election? So I guess, you know, 17 votes, just 17 votes. I mean, there is good news with the bad news. Did the board see it that way at all?
Absolutely. I think 17 votes tells you that certainly there is support for it. I think that definitely there was no mandate that people were against it. I think that it showed that there is support. I think it was a low turnout election, and that played a huge role in that. And so it's going to be up to us when we make a decision, if we make a decision to go forward, that we have to do our grassroots efforts and get everyone out to vote. You graduating seniors need to vote when you go off to college. We need that to happen. But we need to get to everybody and get everyone out to vote. So yes, and that'll be, and like I said, we'll get back to you at the end of this school year probably what we're going to do.
Okay, and that is, that was a funding program that included about 50% state funding for the project, and that funding is still available.
Yes.
So as you contemplate that going forward, that's going to be part of your formula.
Absolutely.
Okay. So in general, for the whole panel, you know, the regionalism of the Sandusky School District, how do you think the region's going to react to these different programs, the Arts Academy especially? Because in the region, let's say Erie County is the region, it would be the only Arts Academy.
Yes.
And the programming the Sandusky School District already has is maintaining a level of arts education that is unlike most public school districts despite the cuts.
Yeah.
So do you think the region is going to open enrollment basically? Do you think that will have a big impact?
Well, I think that because we're offering something that a lot of other schools in our district are not offering, that it's going to draw in students who have that creative nature to them. A lot of our kids, you know, growing up from early childhood, you know, enjoy the arts, enjoy music, enjoy theater. But now they have that opportunity, you know, in high school level to take all types of classes. We have oh my goodness, I can't even count how many classes, but, you know, for the
22.
arts by themselves.
22.
22.
22.
Yeah, 22 arts classes right now.
And that is a lot, and there are school districts that have eliminated most, if not all, arts
Yeah.
programming, and the district has maintained it because of the importance of it,
Yeah.
the STEAM, not STEM,
Right.
which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
I went to a STEAM conference this year. We went to a STEAM conference this year, and the whole idea about it is that we are reaching the kids where they learn creatively.
Right.
We're understanding that not all kids learn the same way. And because of that, we have to give those students who have the opportunity to show that creative side, how they can use that in math, how they can use that in science. And I mean, when you're in elementary school, I'm an elementary art teacher, so they do that already. You know, we play some games or sing music to help remember things. Well, we're doing that at the high school level. You know, you're giving these kids opportunities to delve into the arts, use that, you know, in their regular classrooms also.
Well, and so are you new with the district, Mrs. Shepherd?
18 years.
18 years in arts.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about that background and what you felt about the Arts Academy when you applied for this position.
Well, I didn't actually apply for this position. I kind of got it a roundabout way, but I understand the importance. I mean, when I watched that video downstairs, you might say something, but I almost cried because I see my students all the time and I have such a passion for teaching them. And art is the one thing that most kids really like. So I get that side of it that, you know, when I come in the classroom, Miss Shepherd, you know, so I love that even with my other kids that were 6th graders back in the day, you know, but what it means to them means the same to me. They want somebody to be able to see what they see and enjoy what they enjoy and take it to them in a positive way.
Okay. And when a student enters the Arts Academy in the coming school year, what kinds of classes will there be?
Okay, right now we just expanded, and Ted has more of the list of the classes that we have, but our arts department has added 3 classes. We also have, and most of those are for the upper level students, but we also are adding, we have an arts fundamental class that starts at the 8th grade and the 9th grade, so students are kind of like getting that experience before they get to the high school. We also are going to be adding a dance class that's going to be 0 period for the kids. So it means getting up a little early, but you know, a lot of kids really showed an interest in that. A theater course that started actually this year that one of our teachers is bringing forth to the students. But the summer seminar is really our breakout to find out what students really want to be involved in.
And this is open to Sandusky students and any students?
Yes.
Any students, really?
Yes.
It's a regional academy.
Yes, it is.
How have you found the region to be responding to the invitation to take a look?
Well, right now we just are rolling this out to the community. We had a parent summit that took place, and we had some people come who were interested in that because it was, you know, they were told about the program then. But really, we're just now getting this out to the public and letting them know what we are offering. So we're hoping that each student who is out there, well, no matter what district that they are in, will understand and know that Sandusky City Schools really is looking at how their arts, and whether it's music, dance, or whatever, can affect their academics, period.
Interesting.
Matt, but we've had a great interest from the community, the businesses, the arts community that want to be part of the committee, because they're excited about the academy and the potential of what it could be for our kids.
And you've gotten a lot of good reaction to
Yeah.
all the transformation
Correct.
programs. I mean, just as the Register's excited about the internship program that's starting next year. Mr. Downing, you haven't had much to say.
I'm the
Now,
new guy.
you are part of another transformation. It's elementary athletics. Tell us about the importance of, has that been something that's not been neglected, or is it something new that you're doing?
It's not something new. It's been going on here in Sandusky by a core group of people that has been doing a wonderful job for years. The school district in their transformation plan looked at it and said, is that a way that we could possibly expand on the wonderful things that were going on? And that was one of the things that they pointed out in the transformation plan under the student athletics pillar was, an expansion in elementary sports and to get kids in earlier, to get them involved earlier in life. So that was the creation of me.
Okay. And how's it going?
It's going great. The first year, it's a learning curve for me. It's a learning curve for the program. Within the first year, we've had a good response with the students. I work with grades 1 through 6 right now. We'll probably expand a little bit because I know there's some kindergarten parents upset with me right now. One of them was my coworker. But we're working with grades 1 through 6, and right now, through fall and winter alone, we had 48% of the student body, the total student body, 1 through 6, come out for our sports. And with the minimum things that we offered, which were 6 sports that we started with, 48% showed up and participated.
That's pretty
So
good.
it was excellent to see.
That's
And
pretty
Matt,
good.
that number, if you think about that, 1 in 2 children getting involved in an activity. And so how important that correlates to, we know how important being involved and academics is. So the
Right.
earlier we can get our children doing things, from athletics to other extracurriculars to our arts programs, also helps with academics, and that's our number 1 plan as well. So on top of everything, obviously, is academics. So Todd has done an exceptional job with that.
They're all parts of the whole.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting. In like the arts and the physical, the athletics, it's all part of becoming someone and learning discipline and
Oh, yeah.
those things. So, with that many students already involved, what are the other advantages besides the physical fitness that it provides and then the mental acuity that creates? What are the other advantages to students being in athletic activity?
Well, bringing them in at such a young age, you have the information and stuff that's out there. Being involved in athletics or any extracurricular activity for that matter, it raises the attendance level of kids, it raises their grade level, it raises graduation rates, and it's great in that aspect. What also we really work on, and I work on a lot more than I probably should because they're really young, but is dealing with situations. I mean, only in sports or activities, they get put in situations where they're not always going to win. They might lose, they might win. And that's, the more situations we can put them in younger and be there for them to help them learn how they react to those situations, the better they're going to be when they get to life, when life gets harder and they have to make the tough decisions or they don't get the job or whatever goes on in the future. That's where this is going to improve the most.
And your family's involved in the athletics program as well as students?
Yes.
And how do you think this programming is going to impact enrollment overall? Does it create more interest from families or more focus?
Yeah. I mean, it gives the student a buy-in. It helps them want to be somewhere. I mean, not all. One of my kids, for example, it's not a great student, but with being on a team, it gives him friends. It gives him something to relate to. So when he goes to school and he gets that tough quiz or that tough test or the tough teacher, he's got something to fall back on. It's if I get through this, I get to the end of the day where I get to go play with my friends or get to do what I want to do. So
it makes them stronger.
Yeah.
Becomes a motivation for
helps
what
them
they
grow.
do.
And is that part of the overall vision for increasing this programming in the elementary?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, like I said before, with having the more interactions, the more situational experiences, it helps them deal with things better. So the more things that we can throw at them younger, when they get to the junior high to the high school levels, hopefully they'll be better students and better people. So.
And do you have some upcoming programs you can talk about? And how do parents of elementary school children who are learning about this just now get involved?
Upcoming, we have our spring sports, which are soccer, and we're going to be doing a track program which will occur after school is out. We're working on swimming, putting that together. It'll be a swim program where we offer swim team and also swim lessons to the kids in the district. And able to reach me, we're in the back of the high school. I'm housed in the high school in the main athletic office with Mr. Coakley. We're back there, or email, phone. We actually have a little page created on the website. Check us out at the school website. You go to the athletics tab. Way down the bottom it says elementary because we're small and we're just starting. But we got our own tab. There's all my information there. You can contact my phone or email. And we got some of our stuff posted there for the parents. So.
Sandusky-K12.
Sandusky-K12.net, and you can get information on all the programmings. Dr. Caleris,
What is it?
we've heard a lot about the transformation that's going on. Can you summarize in a few words what it means to students and their families, what these changes mean to students? And their
Well,
families?
you know, I'm fortunate to have the best students in the area. These are the best high school students. They do well. I mean, this group right here, they're active, they're good students. And I want everybody to see that we are the best high school in the area. So I think it's just an opportunity for us to showcase what we do. And I think, like everybody said, the more that we can give students opportunities outside of that academic arena, we're here for academics, of course, but all of these programs support the academics. So that, I think, in a nutshell, it's just, we want to give our kids options so that they're successful in whatever they want to do. It's not our choice to tell them what to do. We want them to make their own choices. So I think that's the important piece.
Well, and last year it was Blue Streak University,
Right.
which carried the chatter through the year. There was a lot of interest in that. This year it's the Arts Academy.
Right.
And if you were to, talk to 100 families that are considering where to send their children to school because they have choices now, what would you tell them about the Arts Academy and the school in general as to why they should come to Sandusky?
You know, if you look at art traditionally, you know, when you think about it, you don't easily identify careers or opportunities in the art field. So I think it's important to say there are many opportunities after high school.
370.
I'm sorry,
370
370 to
career opportunities.
370 career opportunities in the arts field.
Yes.
So we want to tell families that, you know, this is important because, again, we want, you know, there are many things to do in the art field outside of.
And I think the worst thing for a parent is to have a child who's interested in art and have difficulty finding
Right.
that. And this is available.
Right.
That's what it's designed to do. Well, for the entire panel and anybody who wants to offer any comment, today we all saw a video called When I Grow Up, featuring students from the district, and it was very well done. I really enjoyed it, and like you, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And it featured people from the class of 2015 to the class of 2028. And what do you see individually as your roles to ensure those dreams of each of those students come true? And let's start with you, Mrs. Vargo.
Well, I think for the Board of Education, obviously helping to guide and help with this vision and give Dr. Sanders and his team the opportunity to do these things. And a bigger picture, for this community, the community of Sandusky, to provide educational institution that can offer these things for this community because it really needs it. And we have a strong school, we go back to, we'll have a strong community. So that's what we need to do.
And Mr. Downing?
Yeah.
How do you see your role in helping each of those students achieve what they told us in that video they wanted to be when they grow up?
From my end, a couple of the kids did say they wanted to be professional athletes. Our job is to help them understand that academics is first and foremost. And if you want to be a professional, there are steps to get there. And taking those steps and having people direct you the right way. So maybe you are great at football or basketball or whatever it is, but when the college coach comes knocking and asks, what are the grades like? How's this kid in public? And the kid didn't have that background and doesn't make it, that's where we come to play. We got to make sure and guide them and make sure they're on the right track to possibly get to the college level, hopefully get to the professional level someday, and then all in all, if we can get them to the college level and help them get that paid for, that'll be a huge advantage.
Sure. That's true. And Mrs. Shephard, you know, and you're kind of like the, not on the hot seat, but you have the new program. You know, how do you see the Arts Academy providing that for families to ensure those dreams of those students?
Well, if you really see the passion that comes along with somebody who is interested in the arts, the family members, the mothers who come to me and say, oh wow, this is offered, and they're gung-ho already to get things started for their children, and who have told me that they have already taken activities outside of our district, whether it's summer camps or workshops. So being able to offer that inside the school to kids and telling them from age, you know, preschool all the way up, that this is what you have to look forward to. And we're nurturing them at the elementary level in the arts and taking them to that place where they feel like they are welcomed, like they fit in, like they, you know, they have a family. It's like a family, pretty much, being in a part of this academy.
And Dr. Caleris?
Giving students options.
Yeah.
I mean, just giving lots of different kids who with different interests, different needs, options after they leave our doors. I think that's important.
Well, this was the second year in a row we've done Between the Lines after the State of the Schools address, and I want to thank Dr. Sanders for inviting us to be here. I want to thank all of you for being here as well and taking our questions. And the audience, the student audience here, go back to school, learn everything you need to learn. I just want to mention one more thing. Between the Lines is brought to you by former State Representative Chris Redfern, former Ottawa County Commissioner Chris Redfern. As a public service, we want to thank Chris Redfern. And that's it for today. This has been Between the Lines Live.